All right, are we ready?
Yes!
Look how far we've come, people. All right, you guys want to sneak right on around here and let's pretend like we all like each other here, because I think we do.
Pretend like we all like.
Looks like the weather gods have smiled upon Hubbardston today too, eh? All right, well, I'm going to start, this whole thing all started, with an idea, and we got to thank the man who had the idea here about a year ago. Where is Jerry? Jerry Slocum. Jerry was having a conversation up the hill, and I don't know exactly who was around, but he goes, "What do you guys think about getting a group together that, we should be able to just organize, and we're going to try to raise funds for cancer or whatever it happens to be." And then from that little conversation, it morphed into this thing called Hands on Hubbardston. And the name came from, hands-on, meaning the whole town as itself is a hands-on town, or blue-collar working type of crew. I'm going to turn the bass down here a little bit. And so the name Hands on Hubbardston kind of took hold. We decided right off the bat to start with, to raise funds for cancer, because we decided everybody here that's standing around at some point or another has been affected by this hellish disease. And we asked the question, do you know anybody that has not been affected by it? So, it hits home with everybody, and sometimes it hits home closer to others. But anyways, it would just be it morphed into this, getting choked up talking about it already. But so we decided the first thing we were going to do was we're going to try to raise some money for the cure against cancer, fighting for the cure, and that was kind of our motto. We went with this on the back of all these shirts. And then we said, well, how much are we going to raise? I don't know. And then so we're all sitting around, shooting the boat or whatever. And then somebody said, let's do $25,000. $25,000. Okay, it's a number. Let's go for it. What the hell, right? And so we decided we're going to have these events throughout the year, not knowing how long it was going to take to get there. So we started out back in March of last year, and we had the first event was the acoustic evening with Hubbardston and Friends, which was nothing more than a bunch of guys that were from town playing some acoustic guitars up at the Legion. We said, well, let's see if we can raise $2,000 for this thing. Well, 4 hours later and 7 bands later, we walked out of there with $4,000. So we're just going, holy crap. So I guess this thing can happen. So between that, we decided that we were going to have 2 major events at that time, and that was the first one, and the second one was going to be the inaugural Hubbapalooza. And in July, that came through, and there were several ancillary events that went along with that. During that, it just became like a day-long festival right here in town, culminating with a big outside acoustic show again. But during that event, there was softball tournaments, there was a huge cancer walk over in the park, and then dunk tanks and washers. Anyway, just a big, long celebration. And and when that got all done, and we were standing on that stage over there in front of however hundreds and hundreds of people that were here, by the end of that night, that one day, we raised $16,000, and just for that one event. So right off the bat, 2 events in July, we were sitting on $20,000, and we're just like, whoa. So off from that, we did a lot of auxiliary events. There was a bake sale. We had the cans. It was called Cans for Cancer. Another Jerry Slocum idea. What about if we put these can things out there? Because everybody, we all drink beer in the street, right? Well, we got to do something with our cans. Well, instead of letting all the kids take all the cans, why don't we collect them? Well, that was another huge fundraiser as well. So, and then, the other thing is when people found out what was going on, it took off with this big snowball effect. And I was just talking to a lady earlier here, and I said everybody kind of took hold of what we were doing. And a car show happened here in town, and they walked up to us with a check for $500. Said, "Here, you guys are doing a great thing. Here, you guys take this." So it was just one thing right after another. And then, sorry, I lost my train of thought here for a minute. Anyways, so we got all this support, and especially from the local businesses here. And if you don't support your local businesses, you need to, because this small little town does nothing but take care of each other. So you got to thank everybody. You got to thank Shields Tavern. You got to thank the Celtic Path. You got to thank Hubbardston Market, the American Legion, right on down the low. And Melton Signs and Bill, they this awesome thermometer they donated. So everybody was just donating their time, and It was crazy, but I guess what we've all kind of learned from this is anything can be accomplished when you put your mind to something and you have all the right people in the same room. As long as nobody cares who gets the credit, you'd be surprised what can be accomplished in this small little town, right? 450 people. Now, it wasn't just Hubbardston. I mean, we had all kinds of help from the surrounding areas. But what you need to understand is it doesn't stop here, because just because we gave $25,000 to the American Cancer, it doesn't mean cancer got cured. So understand that, we've just begun, people. We've only been doing this for a year, and it's amazing. The list of thank yous is a mile long. I mean, as far as, people who've really stepped up to the plate. And, there's a few, I've told the story a couple times, but we had this monster, huge, like stadium-style stage for that Hubbapalooza, and I think if you were here, you guys know what I'm talking about. But we had a couple glitches. But anyways, we had a few people who really stepped up to the plate and made that thing happen with huge donations. And Bud and Joanne Howard were here. Bob and Katie Cash and Bernice Arlene Ward, and there's a few others. I don't have them all here listed, but without that changed everything for us, because that made that whole evening, that whole day, just out of this world. But again, it's just another showing of generosity that just made this thing unbelievable. For us, again, this small little town came together and raised $25,000 for the fight against cancer. Give yourself a hand. So we have a special guest here, and she's going to say a few words. I was just talking to her, a nice young lady. Her name's Alex Wiley, and she is the Associate Director of the Great Lakes Divisions of the American Cancer Society. And that's where our check will be going. So the idea was to keep, it's like the American Cancer Society is this huge organization. Well, what our money is going to is going to be local. And then this lady over here is going to speak a little bit about that. So without further ado, Alex Wiley.
So I have to try and compose myself, because I got asked to come out here today and I had no idea what I was coming into. I had no idea there'd be this amazing crowd of people, and let me tell you, I'm still trying to get through. I had no idea the incredible amount of money and effort and time you would all put in. So again, first, before I talk about anything else, please give yourselves an incredible round of applause, please. I have the joy of being able to be a part of the American Cancer Society. I got started when I was 16. I became a volunteer with a Relay for Life event at my high school, because I had a very dear friend of mine who, his mom was battling breast cancer for the 3rd time. And I decided, you know what, I need to do something more. I need to get involved with an organization that's going to make a difference. And even though I will not reveal my age, I've just never left since I was 16. And I have the joy of getting to be a part of incredibly inspiring events every day of my life, just like this one. And let me tell you, around a time of year where we are to give thanks for things, I want to thank each and every one of you so much for the incredible things that you are helping to make possible in the fight against cancer by doing this event, by being an incredible community that comes together and shares a common passion, and that's to find a cure for cancer. Who wants to find a cure for cancer? Absolutely. Just to kind of highlight a little bit with these incredible dollars that you have raised, we are able to offer so many great things as the American Cancer Society to your community. Even though we are a nationwide organization, one of the things I really want to highlight, and I encourage you all, if you get a chance, if you want to arrange a carpool, come on over to Grand Rapids. We have an amazing facility there called the Hope Lodge. So I want you all to kind of follow a little story for me. So imagine that you've got somebody who lives, let's say, any of you here. About how long I drove in from Grand Rapids today? What would you say? A pretty solid hour to get to Grand Rapids, right? Yeah? So imagine that one of you goes to your doctor and you hear those 3 life-changing words, that you have cancer. And let's say that the absolute best chance you have to fight it is to drive to Grand Rapids every day for treatment. Gas, I try to pretend that I don't know what the cost of gas is daily. What's it up to, $3.75 a gallon or so right now? $3.56. So imagine the trip daily, there and back. Imagine the wear and tear on your car. Let's say that you need to grab meals there, depending on what your time frame is. Think of the costs that start to add in that commute. Imagine being somebody who lives even further away than you guys. But in order to have the best chance to live, in order to be able to fight cancer hardest, that's what has to happen. That's where we come in. That's where the Hope Lodge comes in. That's what every single one of you is helping to make possible. The Hope Lodge in Grand Rapids is a 20-room facility where any cancer patient from outside of the Grand Rapids city limits and their caregiver can come and stay for free. completely free. Not free with a bunch of little bullets down at the bottom and then a bill when you leave. Free from the minute you walk through the door and the minute that you leave to go home. It's not like a hospital, it's a home. The rooms are decorated very comfortably. There's common areas for people to get to share their stories and their passion. We have staff there, volunteers there 24 hours a day, every single day of the week. If people need a ride to their treatment, we have a van there to take them. Kitchens, individual storage cabinets in case people are undergoing allergies or things that are not tasting great to them. It can be a way of offering hope away from home when somebody's having to battle cancer. It takes some of that burden away because you don't have to worry about how you're going to afford the gas driving back and forth, how you're going to afford the cost of the hotel room. Every single one of you here, your families, your friends, the other members of this community are helping to make things like Hope Lodge possible. Thank you so very much for that. I encourage you, if you get a chance, please come and check it out. I brought some brochures with me today. It's absolutely breathtaking. We're celebrating our 5th birthday of it being open this coming February. And there are so many other things that we have to offer. The American Cancer Society has a 1-800 number, available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every single day of the year. It's not like calling some of these other companies where you have to go through a bunch of teleprompts and you don't get a person. You get an individual who is a specialist in all of the resources that we have to offer, and if we don't have it, they will help you find it. You can call on behalf of a loved one that's going through cancer. If you need support groups, you need transportation to treatment, a variety of different things, wig banks, everything, it's there, and we're here to help. And please know that every single one of you is helping to sustain those amazing programs and services at a local level. Even though we are the American Cancer Society, we're taking on cancer not only here in the United States as it's a global effort, but the things that you are doing here in this community are not only helping you and the potential others that may need our help down the road, you're helping people all around the world to be able to fight cancer. It's a pretty amazing thing to be a part of. And so again, I don't want to take too much time. I can ramble myself. I will be here. I am happy to answer any questions that you may have. I am so incredibly proud to get to be a part of this today, and again, at a time where it is so important to give thanks this time of year and appreciate your family and your friends and your loved ones, I have only one word that really comes to mind when I stand here and I'm looking at all of you and everything that you've done today, and it's inspiring. So I thank you all so very much on behalf of the American Cancer Society. Being a volunteer of this organization and a staff member, thank you for all of the inspiring things that you do and for your incredible support. Please, again, a huge round of applause for this incredible accomplishment. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Alex. So I guess without further ado, let's bring right on up here all the members of Hands On Hubbardston, the crew, Jerry, everybody.